Are you getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist in either a business or a personal situation? Then make sure to stay till the end of this video because there's certain things you're definitely going to want to hide from them. And I'm going to tell you what they are in this video. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung, and I've been recognized as one of the top attorneys in the country, and I've written a couple of best-selling books, Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a Step-by-Step Divorce Guide. And what I do here is I help people with real resources, actual step-by-step guidance on how to get out of those relationships with a narcissist, whether it's a business relationship or a personal relationship. They're both traumatic. They both cause lots of drama, and chaos. And if you're ready to step into a life of freedom, possibility, and purpose, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. And that way you'll get notified when I upload new content or I go live. So let's talk now about what you definitely don't want to show a narcissist. I mean, you know, the old thing about don't show your cards, right? I mean, that goes doubly or even triply or maybe even 100-fold when it comes to dealing with a narcissist, because they certainly want to bring you down. And why is that? So when you go into a relationship with a narcissist, it starts off with love bombing, and then they go into devaluing and discarding. And if you want to know more about the phases of a narcissist relationship, you can check out my videos on those topics. But you're dealing with this whole thing, and it's love bombing, and then it ends with discard, and then there's this toxic stew in between. And when you get into the discard phase of the relationship, that's when you start to see the birth of the smear campaign, and all these things start to happen because they want to make sure that they get you before you get them. And they also want to make sure that you're the one that looks bad, that they're the one that looks so good. With a narcissist, it's got to be all or nothing. You're either for them or against them. I know in my situation with the two narcissists I had to deal with, and I had to deal with a couple of covert narcissists. And if you want to know more about covert narcissists, check out my videos on those topics. I have several videos on covert narcissists because, you know, I've had to deal with a couple of them myself, and I think they're one of the worst to have to deal with because they're so normal looking on the outside, and they're really, really good at hiding their narcissistic tendencies, and they know what what normal people are supposed to look like. They know how to behave. They just don't when it comes to dealing with people in their lives. But basically what you're dealing with at the end of a relationship is that it's got to be, you know, fire and brimstone. They got to burn the bridge on the way out. I tried very hard in my situations, and one was in a business type of a setting and one was in an extended family type of a setting, to, you know, we can just be cordial to each other. We can just be, you know, good to each other. We don't have to be nasty. We don't have to, you know, leave people feeling like, you know, that you don't like them, or, you know, or cut you down to other people or whatever. I really wanted, and I tried very hard to, you know, I didn't want to be in those relationships anymore, but I wanted it to at least be cordial and nice. And narcissists, they cannot do that. It's got to be that, you know, it's you or them. And so they have to call up everybody and let everybody know how awful you are and how wonderful they are, and how, you know, they're the victim of you. You did bad things. And so they want to make sure they get you before you get them. And so, you know, there you are left with this, like, oh my gosh, how is this happening? And your world is crumbling, and they're just trying to make sure that they take you down as much as possible. So when you're dealing with all of that, what is it that you want to make sure that you don't share with them? Because if whatever you share with them, that's what they're going to make sure that they go after. if you want to tell them that you really need to retain this particular thing, or you really want this, maybe it's a house, maybe it's a certain client base, maybe it's an email address or something like that, whatever it is that you're dealing with, whether it's a professional or a personal situation, then that's going to be the one thing that they want to make sure that you don't get, that they go after. And so if you want to share something with them, tell them that you really want something that you don't necessarily care if you get. And I call this ethically manipulating the manipulator because, you're not doing anything illegal. It's not immoral. It's not hurting anybody, but you are just kind of throwing them off the scent. It's sort of like a decoy so that they are not coming after what it is that you actually want. So that's number one. The next thing is whatever your leverage is. So if you have really, really good leverage and you are getting ready to negotiate with this narcissist, you want to make sure that you definitely do not share what that leverage is, because you don't want to give it away too early. You want to be able to use it and pounce on them in the most opportune time. And if you want to know more about how to get leverage over the narcissist, check out my video called Get Leverage Over the Narcissist so that you can learn more about that. But you definitely don't want to share whatever that leverage is, because not at least right away. You want to make sure you do it on your terms when you're ready, so that you're presenting your entire package at the same time and you're ready to squeeze them exactly at the time that you want to squeeze them. And if you want to know more about how to squeeze a narcissist, check out my video on smacking down the narcissist, because I talk a lot more about how to do that specifically. But you definitely don't want to share what your leverage is. I actually had a situation one time with a client where he had found a cell phone and it had all kinds of great information on it because it was found in the marital home. It was a marital asset and he was living in it still there, and he found this old phone, he plugs it in, and here all these amazing text messages come up that are great leverage that we could have used at a very opportune time. And instead of waiting till we could use it at the opportune time, he immediately, has too much wine or something that night, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, he's sending them all to her. And guess what? Of course, now she's able to spin it. She's able to prepare her defense. She's able to maybe even go on the offense about it and bring it up before we do, all kinds of stuff. So when you have really good leverage, you definitely want to hide that from the narcissist. And if you're going to do this and hide your leverage, I want to see a hide my leverage in the comments right now. Okay, and then the next thing that you're definitely going to want to hide from the narcissist are your true feelings and anything that's upsetting you about them, because if they know that they're upsetting you, then they are getting what they want. They want to upset you. They want to set you off. They want you to be all worked up. And that's why they do everything they can to trigger you. I mean, the narcissists that I had in my life did crazy things to trigger me. And I knew that that's what they were doing. And this was even before I knew exactly about narcissists and that this is what these people were. And I knew instinctively, like, don't give them what they want. Don't show that I'm upset. Don't let them get a rise out of me, and so when you're dealing with them, at least in that moment, seem unaffected, make it look like you don't really care what it is that they're doing, speak to them as if, they're a 2-year-old having a tantrum on the floor. You don't get all angry and upset about it. You just try to remain completely factual, as if you're reporting the news. And if you want to know more about phrases to disarm a narcissist, you can check out my video on that as well. But you just, okay, I see what you're saying. Yes, I don't agree with with that, but okay, I understand that that's your position, and so once you are out of their view and they're hearing, you can just go scream into your pillow, scream into your shower, cry to your therapist or your best friend or whoever, but you don't need to don't show them. Certainly hide your true feelings from them, because you don't want them to know that they are getting to you. Okay, so those are the things you definitely want to hide from a narcissist. If you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist, make sure to grab my free Crush My Negotiation Prep Worksheet. You can just get that at winmynegotiation.com. It's like 15 pages, it's an ebook, and it's totally free. And it's all yours at winmynegotiation.com. And if you like this video, give it a like, give it a share, drop me a comment. Let me know that you were here. And also make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you feel like you want more support, feel free to please join me in my free private Facebook group called Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. I'd love to see you there. So thanks so much for joining me on this episode of Negotiate Your Best Life. I'll see you in the next video.